When people think of midlife, they often associate that word with crisis. But what if we could turn that around? What if we could make midlife magical? Well, that's why we have Karen here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it should matter to you. Karen, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here today, Shauna. This is such a pleasure. And, while everyone is telling you that change has to be serious, it's heavy, it's exhausting, I am here to tell you that it can actually feel fun and joyful and inspiring. Midlife transformation can be fun and easy. I am Karen Stultz. I'm the founder of the Awesome Life Success System and the Heart Energy Techniques that support midlife women. They know that they are meant for more. Their life does not end at 50 plus. Let's just enjoy life. So I support them to discover what their inner joy is, and we create plans to move forward by relieving the trapped self-doubt, the emotional baggage that we've picked up through the years, and the invisible weight of past experiences.
These things are so important to digest for all walks of life, but in particular for anyone who's looking to really start a movement or make an impact. Oftentimes, those people look like solopreneurs, business owners, people who are really stepping out of their comfort zone for the first time, maybe. And having that sort of baggage could be just the thing that's making everything so much harder to do, which is why this conversation is so important to have. Because we are here to make the world a better place. And we don't need that crap behind us stopping us from doing it.
Exactly. But the key thing here, Shauna, is that most people, I just knew there was something more. When I turned 50, I was caregiving for my parents, and I saw my mom, who had always, looked at the rosy side, sometimes to my great irritation, because everything was great with her family. No one else's family, but with her family, they were all perfect. And I'm saying, no. But I saw this woman who always tried to shift the story that irritated the heck out of me growing up, ending her life with a lot of regret and anger. And I said, no, this is not where I want to be. I have a whole life ahead of me. My parents were in their 90s. I'm only 50. Come on, I have a long life ahead of me. And I know that if I go back to the way things were, I would be resentful, I would regret, and I would be angry. So something had to shift. I didn't know what it was. And the universe came and said, hey, check out life coaching. That was brand new back in 2000. Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, well, let's check this out. This sounds like a really good possibility for me. The wonderful thing, I got certified up the yin yang with life coaching. I mean,
I believe it.
Anything except for exercise, I've been certified in it.
That's a hard one. I feel like that's a hard nut to crack. So I'll give you a pass on that.
I appreciate that.
So you got certified and then and broke into this world like no tomorrow. Like this sounds like it wasn't just I'm going to dip my toes in. This sounds like a cannonball into the coaching world.
It absolutely was, and it was a case of, guess what? The way coaching was taught at that point in time, it was, hey, the people know everything. They have everything inside of them that they need. All you have to do is ask the questions to bring it out. And I'm saying, no, you don't know what you don't know. And you can't pull it out if you don't know what you don't know. And that just irritated me more.
I feel like everyone here can resonate with that idea of I know I need something, or I'm meant for something, or I know it conceptually.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you take action on an idea, on an idea of something?
Especially if you can even have that vision of the idea. And by the way, you would not have the idea if it wasn't meant for you. But you could, but if something is stopping you and you don't know what it is that's stopping you, it's important to release that. So I made it my mission to find solutions. I'm a solution finder. And knowing that it was my feelings, my desires, my hopes, my dreams, it had to be my solution. And it had to be fast, because you can't break through and take those actions if there is a block inside of you, an energy block. So I ended up learning EFT, emotional freedom technique. Love it. Major part of the heart energy techniques. I got my degree in hypnotherapy. Also a very fast, very helpful way of managing things. Guided imagery is all part of that. Positive psychology, I got certified in that. So and NLP, I became an NLP master, neuro-linguistic programming master, along with any number of energy work, Donna Eden energy work. And I said, okay. So people started coming to me and they said, oh, Karen, you're a hypnotherapist. Can you help me with? And I said, yeah, and a whole lot more. And they said, okay, well, you do EFT. And I said, yeah, and a whole lot more. Oh, you do essential oils. Yeah, and a whole lot more. So I said, what is the commonality? The commonality here is these techniques help you quickly, easily, and gently, without having to reinstill the trauma or tell the old story over and over again, to release what is blocking you so that you can. You had the idea, you see the vision, you have the steps, and it's not happening. What?
I spoke to someone this morning, and I said, no, it wasn't this morning, it was yesterday, about when I really want to do something that I just can't do for stupid reasons. And I literally described myself as turning into this big toddler. And that's what I feel like it is. I just,
Exactly.
There. I want to do the thing. The thing is there. Know that the thing is good for me. I can feel it, but why am I not doing it?
Yeah.
That's infuriating.
It can be. It absolutely can be. And there's a very good reason that is not happening. It is because there is an energy block. We have fears. We have unknown. That's the thing. That's the problem. We don't even know where these came from. It may have come through your DNA. But fortunately, with neuroscience, we have learned that DNA can be shifted, can be changed. You do not have to stay with that. And once you are able to release it, you say, oh, okay, now I understand. When you get the hidden things to the conscious mind and you become aware, which is the A in awesome, is the awareness and allowing. Become aware and recognize, what are you willing to allow and what are you not willing to allow? I went to a lot of people and I said, I know what my issue is, and I am not going to change that. So we have to find another way around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I did with all of these things, and created the heart energy techniques that will help. I also created the Awesome Life Lounge so people can get in-depth help with that. I just started that this year, so I'm really excited, Shauna.
And it's really cool. So this is something I'm actually going to rewind just slightly, and I'm actually
Yeah.
going to reintroduce your title, because in your title we see Awesome Life Success. And you just mentioned how the A stands for something. Well, I happen to know all of the letters stand for something. So why don't we go through this briefly and let people know that journey that is held within even just that word, awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for asking. Yes. The A in awesome, awesome is a word that we often use. Oh, that was awesome and whatnot. But I realized that, yes, almost everybody I've talked to would love to have an awesome life, but what the heck is it? So I look at it kind of like a shopping mall, and I know they're not in fashion anymore, but shopping malls used to have anchor stores on either end.
That's right.
And awareness and allowing is the key. We cannot correct in any way something that we're not aware of. So that is key. Then we have to accept and allow. That doesn't mean condone and let go. It does mean let go, but accept and allow. And at the final E of awesome is enjoyment and fun. That is key for me. I knew that whatever it was that I did, I had to have a good time doing it, or I had to recognize the value in it and make it fun in some way. Like doing the dishes. That's not fun, but get it done.
Yeah.
And then
the A and the E.
Mm-hmm. Those are our anchor stores. And everything we do. Mm-hmm.
And everything in between, and we can quickly go through those in a moment. Yep. Everything in between really just takes you on the journey.
It does, depending upon where you are at the moment. Wellness. The W is for wellness, inside, physically and mental. Your environment, mental and physical environment. Spirit. I'm not a religious person, but I am very spiritual, and I was hit over the head by the universe more than once with a 2x4 to wake me up. Mm-hmm. And that's another story. Thank you. Anyway, on to organization, because that's something I struggle with. Absolutely. Organizing.
And I feel like that it can be very closely aligned with the concept of clarity.
Absolutely. And, being able to find where you want to go, we go into that in the Awesome Life Success System. We discover your values, your core beliefs, and
not in a sense either, in a very grounded and tangible sense, which makes all the difference.
I call myself a pragmatic catalyst for positive change because, it's got to be realistic. It's got to be realistic for you. Yes, I do woo-woo, but don't poo-poo the woo-woo. The woo-woo is great, but it's not all the woo-woo. It has to be realistic.
And it's founded in science. A lot of this thing that people call woo, and they always use the bunny ears and all this stuff. Most of this woo is science.
Yes.
Just wearing a different outfit.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely. And then, of course, money. Money is the M in awesome. And without money, we have real problems. We need to be able to help ourselves, our security, our everything. Everything is surrounded with money.
It's just reality.
It is.
And what I love about that in particular, within the framework that you've developed, is that we're not talking about money for the purpose of having excess. We're talking about money for the purpose of being that enjoyment. That purpose of really stepping into your life in a way that is meaningful to you. Mm-hmm. That could be what puts bread on the table. Sometimes that's all it takes. It also could be a Lamborghini. But I don't know what makes other people joyful. That may not be my story, but that's okay. That's the idea behind this very customized and aligned framework.
Absolutely. Because what I need and desire, and I don't use the word need often, but we all need things. We need our security. We need comfort. We need love. There are things we need.
Yeah.
And for me, what pleases me, a lot of people would not accept. They would not do what my husband and I do to fulfill our needs of joy and an awesome life.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like you say, maybe somebody wants a Lamborghini. That's great too. Whatever it is, we have a lot of money blocks. And that was my issue too. I'm doing all of the right things. I'm listening to all of the gurus. I'm doing all of this good stuff, and no money is coming in, and the heck of a lot is going out.
Yeah.
That was not acceptable for me anymore. And after I'd gone through close to a little bit over $100,000, I said, and not seeing anything come in, I got a money block. And before I go any further, I have to release those money blocks.
Yeah. And that can be a game changer for every section of your life, regardless of whether you're looking to just live simply, or whether you're looking to grow a business or live lavishly in some construct of your world. That could be the thing, just that block about money.
And when you open that block, your health gets better. Your environment gets better. The people around you are treating you more positively. And it's like, wow, and we don't even have to know what that block was. I have a technique that I use, and I learned it, and I said, I don't know if this is actually going to work or not. And it was pre-birth. And I said, okay, no, I do not believe in past lives. I don't believe in past lives. So no, anything that is going on with me happened in my lifetime. I take responsibility for that. So I did this process, and I never saw a change. And finally, I said, all of a sudden, I got the download, past life. I said, all right. I said,
take it off the shelf. Take it off the shelf, right? And just see, all right, well, here it is.
Here it is.
Yeah.
And it was a very little thing. But I've never had that problem again, ever. And that was 10 years ago.
And this is why we shift from the false idea of a midlife crisis to the midlife magic, because it feels like magic.
It does. It doesn't have to be hard unless we make it so. And I am a master of making things hard. So I've also found the way to get through that to the other side with a lot more grace, a lot more ease. And I like fun. Come on, guys, let's make it fun.
Why not? Life is short as it is. I mean, we talk about how much time we have, and we need to appreciate that, because that is true. But in the grand scheme of all things, life is short. So have fun with it.
My belief is that we're born on a timeline, and we don't know what our timeline is. So may as well make it as enjoyable as possible. As long as, and my mantra is, if it's not hurting you or somebody else, give it a shot.
Right. And you know what? Very, very similarly, I often find myself saying to myself, my husband, my kids, anybody in dialogue really about some of the crazy things that happen in life, I just say, hey, listen, if it doesn't cause harm, enjoy. And I say it broadly like that because, as you say, we don't want to see harm caused to yourself or others, the climate, etc. So if it doesn't cause harm, dive in, right? Like do the thing. Wear the stupid hat. Like the kids' TV show. Like I was telling my daughter this the other day. I said, I really like this show, Miraculous. It's Miraculous Ladybug. It's an animated show made for kids, but it is so well written and hilariously twisty. Like it's a good show. And I said, I like that show. And she said, I can't tell my friends I like that show because they'll think I'm weird. And I'm like, who cares? Now I'm not on anymore, so I get it. but
and the fact is that, and it is a fact, all of these shows, all of these animated shows are being written now for the adults because the adults want to spend time with their kids. The kids want to go see the show. The adult doesn't want to be bored to death. So they have to write it for the adults to enjoy as well.
Yeah.
So, I love Kung Fu Panda. Oh, that was so great.
Now you've got me tongue-tied because Jack Black.
Oh yeah,
he is hilarious, and also simultaneously like very crude and obnoxious, but also simultaneously probably one of the biggest-hearted softies in show business. As a celebrity, like he will stop in his tracks to be supportive of somebody who maybe has less than or whatever. Like he is so sweet and interesting and fun and crude and ridiculous. Wonderful. So yes, Kung Fu. Now we're turning this into a shameless advertising for all kids shows. But and trust me, if anybody's been hanging around for long enough, they know that almost, I would say, every like fourth or fifth show, I have a shameless plug for some kids show that I've recently watched because they are good. But we do not have all day. So what I'm going to do is, and it could be all day, is I'm going to ask you to think about right now something that our audience really needs to hear about from you that we haven't touched on yet. It could be pertaining to your lounge, because I think that's a really interesting dynamic that we can kind of touch on. But primarily that just takes us from this transformation of mindset about what it looks like to be in midlife. And what's next for them. I'm going to ask you to share that. I'm going to give you a chance to think about it because that was a very dynamic question. Think about that for a moment. And for the rest of you who are anxiously waiting at the edge of their seat for what Karen has to say, I want to tell you that this is not the only time that we're having these amazing conversations. We actually have these conversations every single week. So please ring the bell, subscribe, join the conversation, leave a comment. We want to hear from you. And with that, I'll get off my soapbox. Not going to get preachy. Karen, what do the people need to hear from you today?
Well, first of all, you have to listen to Shauna's Rebels, because she has great people on here, and I am honored to be here. I really want you to know that life after 50 is just the beginning. It is your best life. And it only takes 3 things: to release the baggage, release the energy blocks, release what is stopping you from living your best life, refocusing, refurbishing, and enjoying life. Take care of yourself. Start getting those massages or do whatever you need, and then reframe and refocus and move forward. Move forward with the confidence that you can do this. If you didn't have the idea that this was possible for you, it wouldn't be for you. But since you do have the idea that it is possible for you, it is for you. It's just a case of finding the right support system to help you get there, because we all need support. This is your time to shine. Make the next phase of your life the best phase of your life. It is magic.
I love that so much. And I'm going to be the marketer and say, Karen just told you to find a space where you can thrive. Find your people who will support you in pursuing those ideas and dreams. And she happens to have a place for that. And it's a relaxing place. It happens to be called a lounge. Go ahead, Karen. Tell them what you've got.
Yes, I'm so excited. This year, I have launched the Awesome Life Lounge, and it is a quarterly program where you sign up each quarter to be part of the lounge. And in the lounge, we have so many fun things. We have weekly trainings. For the first quarter, we're going into from fear to freedom. Let go of the fear that is keeping us stuck. Recognize, yeah, we do have fear. I got fear. I'm working on it. So we have these weekly programs for fear to freedom. We also have the magical tea party in the lounge where we pull cards and we talk and we have our cup of tea or your favorite beverage, depending upon where you are. It might be a glass of wine, whatever. We also have a master class in this. And it's that is dedicated to the topic at hand. And next quarter, we're going to be talking about wealth from the inside out. And then we're going on to confidence, building our own self-confidence, and realizing we are so powerful. We are. We do not have to follow somebody else's steps. We can go forward with our own steps in joy and authenticity. And the last quarter of the year is going to be all around vitality and energy. So enjoy. I'm so excited about the Awesome Life Lounge, and it has gotten some rave reviews so far, and it's not too late to join in.
I love it. And that's the thing. You can go to the QR code that's on the screen, or you can check out the show notes to make sure that you can explore the space and join in for a quarter or 3 or 4 or 5.
And there is a discount.
This is the beauty of all of this, is that, I think I've said this on a number of episodes, but it never goes stale, is this idea that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go with others. Find a community that will allow you to keep your momentum going and to really nurture those dreams and let them blossom into reality. This is the type of place where you're going to be able to do that. The 3 steps that Karen was talking about before are absolutely true. You just need to release, recharge, and refocus. I know it sounds, people always say it sounds easier said than done. That's why you call us. We want to have a conversation with you. We want to explore this world together. You can tell by Karen and myself that we're just here to have a damn good time and to make the most of it. Whether that is marketing the hell out of your business in a way that feels aligned, authentic, and makes you moolah, or whether that's really connecting with the magic that's within you and stepping into your truest form so that you can live a life of abundance, or both. Reach out, start the conversation, and join us next week, because remember, we have these conversations every single week. And I'll see you then. Bye now.